Good morning, Blue Lulus. How you doing? I just want to let you know that you're not crazy, right? If you're feeling confused, suspicious, full of hesitation regarding everything that you've seen in the last 48 hours, that's totally normal because we are existing in a post-truth America, and that can be very disorienting, right? So you're not crazy. It's totally normal, and it's going to be okay. Because anyone who's been in a relationship with a narcissist knows that one of the things that they do the most is edit history, right? They do something terrible, they go into their hidey hole, and they wait for a given period of time to go by, and then if you bring it up or talk about it, they just insert their own version of the past and they make that be truth, right? And if you're not able to like come with receipts, that can be very disorienting, as you're like, am I remembering things incorrectly? Because I thought that we already decided that what the truth was, right? But they don't, because their brains are wired to protect their own ego so greatly that they truly don't understand or remember what has happened in the past, particularly when they've done something wrong. I bring this up because of what's been going on with Jamal Khashoggi, right? Because the Saudi Arabian crown prince has been here in the Casablanca for the last few days, right? And reportedly, one of the congressmen who was in his administration the first time has come out and said that we need to release the audio of a phone call between the Joker and Khashoggi, right? And that he actually was well aware of what was happening with that journalist, and he hasn't elaborated any further on that. But while he was in the Oval Office, MBS was asked about it, and he's like, no, I didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't know anything about it. I'm actually really sad that that happened to that journalist. But that is objectively false. I went back and I looked at that story again because I have to admit, I don't remember all the details of it. Mr. Khashoggi was a progressive journalist in Saudi Arabia, and he basically wrote for what would be like their version of the Huffington Post, right? He became a public enemy of the state, and he self-exiled to the country of Turkey. He was living in Istanbul. He fell in love and he wanted to get married, and the Saudi Arabian government said that in order for him to be able to get married, he was going to have to get some paperwork from the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul. So Mr. Khashoggi went to the consulate and he never came out. Initially, he was reported as a missing person, and the Saudi Arabian government was like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea what happened to this guy. No, he definitely left there alive. They changed their story several times, and then upon further investigation, it was determined that not only was he taken out in that consulate, but he was taken apart in order to be removed from that place, and they never found him. We know that this is true because our Central Intelligence Agency was able to intercept communication between MBS and the 20 people in the consulate that were allegedly responsible for this interaction. And the UN released a 120-page report detailing exactly what happened and why we know that it was them. But still, virtually nothing happened because he's a crown prince, he has lots of money, and he gets away with stuff. And the Joker administration has had strong ties with the royal family of Saudi Arabia long before he ever got into the Casablanca, because that's where he and his companies do a lot of most of their business. And if you look into the ways that they employ people in the Middle East, it will bring you to tears. It should be no surprise that we are treating immigrants in our country the way that we're treating them if you look at the ways that the people who construct Joker golf courses overseas are treated, because it's very similar and it's very reprehensible. So yeah, I think that we should release that phone call wherever it is. And we need to ask ourselves, why is it that our commander-in-chief only is able to get along with the worst people that there is? Dictators, scariest, traffickers, and murderers. Why is that? The Joker has signed into law the bill that is for releasing these files, right? And people are like, I don't know, I don't really trust it. Something's weird about that, but I don't know. He does seem like he's panicking. He posted a massive tweet. It would like take up your whole phone screen level tweet. And of course, he starts out by detailing all of his accomplishments, because narcissists are transactional. They don't do anything without expecting something as a result in return, right? He's like, no matter what happens, it was worth it because XYZ. And then at the end, he details all of the Democrats that were involved or implicated in this massive scandal, leaving out the fact that he was a Democrat. like you? Because up until the Democratic Party chose Barack Obama as their leader, he was a Democrat also. The Joker has donated thousands of dollars to Nancy Pelosi's campaigns over the years. When all of these terrible things were happening, he was in the Democratic Party. It wasn't until we picked somebody who actually had integrity, soul, and some ethics that he decided that he wanted to change his mind because he was brown. Don't let him change history. Yeah, it might have been Democrats, including him, at that time. Following the frozen water folks taking North Carolina under siege, they are really standing on business, and I am here for it. They are chasing these guys out into the woods. They are all up in their face, and they made it very clear that the South is built different. It's reported that one of them was run off by a 70-year-old lady with a sidearm. Let's please make her famous today. But I did find it interesting that he didn't detail all of these detentions in his long tirade, talking about all of his accomplishments, right? He talks about everything but the people that we are snatching off the streets and the ways that they are being treated, because he knows that it has nothing to do with eliminating crime. It has to do with money. Because each of these people that are being taken translates into money, $186 per person per day. And so if they have these quotas of 3,000 people per day, that's I don't know, almost $500,000 per day that's added to the $500,000 from the day before and the day before and the day before. And all of that money is going into the pockets of the people who own stock in these massive private for-prison corporations. So we need to find out how many of the Joker's kids hold stock in these companies and how many of the lawmakers do. Because something tells me it's likely a very bipartisan thing, since we don't hear anything about how these people are treated from anybody. Big day in DC today. There's going to be a massive rally where people are talking about getting rid of this Joker administration and throwing them peaches. And there's going to be a massive protest on Saturday with Dropkick Murphys. Cannot wait to see it. So just remember, you are not crazy. You're just paying attention. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep our eyes up, keep our feet on the ground, right? I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!